Hello, everybody. This is the Apple Boom. Hildegard time. Been meaning to make this for a while, but I haven't been comfortable enough to really say anything. But now I think I have a really solid idea and understanding of how I want to play Hilde. So this is how I play Hilde. I'm not saying that if you do it differently, you're wrong. And this is also for intermediate to higher level players. I'm not going to go over the basics of frame data. I'm not going to go over like using 2As to keep your opponents from pressing buttons, stuff like that. So let's get into this. So with Hilde, I use mainly 3 moves in neutral now. I have 1B, 66K, and CA5, or 6, usually 5. So that covers pretty much all the options. This is a low, this is a nasty low, this is a nice mid, and this is a horizontal mid. So, yeah, they can't do anything really about this. Like, there's no holes. Yeah, let's set this to normal. Yeah, this thing has dumb range, so, yeah, it's a great low. And this thing has pretty decent range, too. And you can see they do a nice chunk of damage. And this is a good bit and get you Regalia. That's your basic stuff. I really like hitting it at tip range, because if they guard it, let's see, let's have them do a 2A, go over here. Yeah, if they guard it, you can do stuff like this. Oops. Yeah, if you're at tip range. Geralt's a little bit better at his 2A, so it's harder. Oops, that's a problem. I accidentally reset a lot with my button setup, so bear with me with that. Yeah. Like, look how much pushback this has. So, yeah, that stuff's really nice. This even pushes back really hard on hits. So, this is 0, by the way. This is a 0 on block low. Look at that. So let's do that. So this is 0 on block. So yeah, I'm just mashing B. I'm getting hit. But here, if I do something like this. I was a little slow, you saw counter hit. But it worked. There you go. Well, that was counter hit because it was in the middle of the move, I believe. Oops. Whatever. So, yeah. This stuff is really good pushback. The hitbox on this is strangely... It feels kind of inconsistent, as you saw. It seems to kind of hit them when it shouldn't, but then sometimes it's like, oh, it's going to hit them and it doesn't. It's a little weird at tip. But anyway, that's the main stuff that I use to pretty much set up whiffs and to get people afraid to press buttons. That's what I do with this character, for the most part. So let's get into charges. Now, charges are pretty much... You get them either by setting it up, like off a move. Do this. Now I have B charge because I'm still holding B. I wish the button replay showed this, but it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't even show me letting go. That's kind of frustrating sometimes. But yeah, setting it up off a move, like setting an A charge off a 2A and stuff. But yeah, charges are really important. Always figure out when you want to charge what, and you switch usually from guarding and then letting go. You have to be careful when you get knocked down because you can accidentally let go of a charge really easily. When you think you just let go of a charge, it actually does it off and you're getting counter hit from Oki situations, and that's not fun. Also, be wary like when you want to drop a charge. Like I just dropped an A charge in the middle of there. Again, you can't see it, but sometimes you need to drop charges in the middle of doing things. That's something to practice. And yeah, it's annoying. Again, it doesn't actually show it when I'm doing it, but that's what you have. One thing I'd like to do every once in a while is just practice doing this as quickly as possible. If you do it too quickly, you get that. Yeah, you get that. But yeah, just doing it as quickly as possible. So that's it for the charges in terms of like actually doing charges. I'll show you where to use the moves in a second. But also, Regalia is very important. Always keep in mind where you are with Regalia. It's even easier now that we have the little indicators. As you can see in the top left. When I have Regalia and I don't. So I'll get rid of it. Take it away. But yeah, Regalia is super important. I'm going to incorporate that when I'm talking about things. But pretty much the way I think about Regalia is I make sure that if I have Regalia, I'm setting it up to use it. Because there's moves that get you Regalia and situations that get you Regalia. And there's ones that use Regalia. And the way I see it, if I have Regalia, if I have it, and then I do something that's going to get me Regalia, then that's kind of a waste. As opposed to going for something that uses it. So yeah. But she's made, yeah, let's go over with punishment. These buttons are quite sensitive. So, yeah, whiff punishing. Here's your basic whiff punishing stuff. So you got CB6. That's how I refer to them. Charge B, CB, charge A, CA. And then the direction you hold afterwards. 4. So there's 5, which is nothing. 4. Ugh, I'm being bad. And 6. And then there's CA5. 4. And 6. So, yeah, that's how we... Oh, and then there's wall rising. You'll sometimes see wall rising CB5 or CA5, or just wall rising / full crouch CB, CA without a number. They're all the same move. You can do full crouch, or you can do wall rising. It's, whatever. But yeah, so... Whiff punishing. Loops. You mainly want loops with your whiff punishing. You set up your whiff punishes, like I said before. Let me see if I can, yeah. So, boom. 65. So yeah, that does nice damage with the loops, and there's also with this, if you are doing an A charge instead, because the way I look at it, I usually either have one or the other charge, depending on what I'm going for and how my opponent's acting. I tend to not have both charged at the same time, unless I'm going for something very specific. So you either have that kind of whiff punish with the loops, or with the A. You have that kind of whiff punish. That doesn't get you much, but this does. So, yeah, that's that. There's also 2-2B plus K. Let me, let's get another recording up in here. So if I see something, boom, into loops. And it's kind of funny. 2-2B plus K actually does less damage from the loop if you have Regalia. Just only a little bit though, so I still go for it anyway. But yeah, those are her whiff punishers generally. She also has soul attack. Oops. Right, I don't have meter. That's fine. That's a nice whiff punisher, and CE is a good whiff punisher. I'll go over those in a bit. Let's put that back. Let's put that always max for now. The last whiff punisher I mainly want to go over is 2-2B. This move. Her old C3B in Soul 5. Yeah, this move is really good because if somebody's jumping a lot, like Talon, in a lot of situations, let's do stand, jump. Okay, I got lucky there. But yeah, that happens. A lot. But this doesn't matter. You can always get it. It always, whether they're on the ground or not, you pull them up. And that does... Like, alright, stop jumping, please. That does 57, or if you could adjust. I'm bad at it today. There we go, 66. So it leaves you in a different position, which I'm going to go over and I'm going to go into in a bit. But yeah, that's something else you can whiff punish that guarantees you're getting the hit or the full combo if they're jumping. Although it is worse on block than this. Yeah, I'll get into that move later. So the loops pretty much are CB6, back turn B plus KA, 6B plus K. Now, very few characters can tech out of that last 6B plus K. So instead you'll do this, back turn B plus KA, and then 9K. They can't tech out of that one. Well, it doesn't leave you in as good of a position, I feel. So, I use the 6B plus K unless I have to use the 9K. So that's the basic loop, and then if you have Spear Regalia, you pretty much do CB6B plus K, this move. Whoops. Yeah. You do that move into the normal loop, CB6. So the way you do that is, so you have the Regalia. When you do it, as soon as you press the B plus K, you hold down the B button again. Again, I really wish they would show this in the input replay, but they don't. Don't do it too soon. Don't let go of B too soon, or else stuff like that happens. It's a quick way to drop it. But yeah. There's that, and then 2B plus K is like, again, like 6B plus K, or CB6B plus K. It's, you're starting earlier, but then the rest is the same. So it's either 2B plus K, CB6, or 2B plus K. They all do roughly the same damage. Normally, CB6 does 61, CB6 with Regalia does 78, 2B plus K does 75, 2B plus K with Regalia does 77. So it actually does one less, which is kind of funny, than not doing the 2B plus K. But I still think it's worth going for, because it's just one damage, and if it's really nice because if you screw it up, then you get a lot of guard damage in your plus, instead of being in a terrible situation like this will put you here. Now I'm negative 10 and back turned. That's bad. Although that does do, like, I will sometimes just fish because this is not safe. That's very bad. I think it's negative 16. Let me look. I never remember because I just don't do it. Yep, 16. But this is safe. So sometimes I'll fish with that. Sometimes. Also, it's really nice that this, if you have Regalia with this, this is a move that uses Regalia, but also gets it right back. And this generally leads you right into the mix-up. So her up-close mix-up, her Oki mix-up is either a low, which if she has Regalia, you get the Hell Sweep, or 1B, which is a nice setup and annoying. And the mid is generally 6B plus K. So 6B plus K is only +2 on hit, but it's -6 on block, so that's nice. It does a lot of guard damage. And this becomes an I-12. And this move is really, really nice on counter. Let's turn the recording on, because watch this. Yeah, so now we got another knockdown situation. Right back into it. Now, the one thing I do want to go over is this move can be teched. Let's tech to the side. Let's do some basic stuff. Here. And need to tech to the side again. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that can, surprised that actually hit. They usually can tech out of that. Maybe, he becomes fatter when the guards are. There we go. Yeah, that's bad. So what I do, a lot of the time, This you'll be able to see. I do this, and then 6B plus K. That recorrects. So it deals with teching and stepping and such. It does make it slower, but it recorrects. But what's so great about the recorrect is now, if you're not instant with your full crouch 3Ks for the hell sweep, now they can't tell if you're going. They can't be like, oh, they're going for the hell sweep because she's ducking. Now, boom. So it removes that kind of read that they can get on you. Also, I want to point out the hell sweep is really nice because it does 54 or less. It can do 40 if you get it tipped. It's hard to get it real tip and training mode, but that actually happens more often in practice. There we go. It does less if you get tipped, and it does even less if they're in yellow. But it's still really nice. But watch out, it's negative 22. So that can be really bad, especially because the whole thing jails. So they don't have to think, oh, maybe I'm going to let go of guard here and you have your kind of string mix up on them. Nope, whole thing just jails. So you're kind of screwed if they block it. So it's a hell sweep. I mean, if that thing were not punishable, that would be disgusting. It would be absolutely disgusting. Because it is also horizontal. But just keep that in mind. That also, because it's so negative, that makes them want to duck it, and then you get this more. So let's transition from that. Next thing from this move. This move does does 14% guard damage. I don't know why. This is the kind of standard move. Look at that, 14%. So this is really nasty on their guard. So if you just keep doing that. Not only that, since it's -6, if you get people, if you 2A afterwards, if you disrespect and stuff like that, this is the type of stuff you need to scout for. If you're gonna disrespect or if you're gonna make them press buttons or whatever. But if they want to press buttons after this for one reason or another, you have tons of counter options. This is really nice. That's really nice, especially because if it's counter hit. Oops. You get them right on the ground. In fact, let's see this one. Yeah, let's have him block. Oh, right. Because this game's weird with that. First 2 guard. Look at that. Oh, come on. Alright. Oops. That beats 2As. And what's the beautiful thing is if, no, I need to record another one. Is this move. Right, because of how my buttons are. Boom, counter hit. Because this move tech crouches until it hits. It's so nice. So you're also going to be... Pretty sure you're going to be tech crouching grabs? Let me test that just to be sure. Yep. Which is really, really nice in the Astaroth matchup. And then you can get stuff like this. Oops, right. Okay. Alright. And I screwed that up. Come on. I'm annoyed by the way the guard works. Boom. And now you have Spear Regalia. So, yeah, this move's really, really nice. Let's move back over here. By the way, on that note, I kind of skipped over this before, but if I have Spear Regalia, I usually either just like to keep it for loops, or I'll try to use it for that. As soon as you get them hesitant, then boom. Okay. I'm being silly. As soon as you get them hesitant, boom, hell sweeps. for 54 or 40 damage. Although sometimes I like to cash it in for this move, which is your primary break tool. Getting back into that. Oh, actually forgot to go over the other thing. So, for Sword Regalia, I usually think of Sword Regalia as a way to get Spear Regalia, like this. Do be wary when you throw these moves out. This is -12, so they can punish it. It's really hard to punish. Now, the whole thing, though, that keeps them guarded for so long, and it leaves you back-turned. Yeah, look at that. Leaves you back-turned -12, so that's bad. But yeah, back to the breaks. So, you mainly want to break... Yeah, here. Almost Guard Crush. You mainly want to break with this move.
You're a lively one.
Because then you get this. Let's actually turn this down so you can see how much media you get from it, too.
You're a lively
Look at that. He was trying to tech, so that does a little more damage. Let's turn that off. Let's turn off the teching and the counter hits.
You're a
Now, I start charging the beat after I press do that input. Just so you know. Also, I want to go over real quick here. So, you can end that combo with a Wall Rising Bee. Come on. Yeah, that one. It's tighter. It's much tighter and only gets you 1 more damage, so I pretty much never do it. But I need to know. See, that did 112 before. Now it does 113. Yeah, it's tight though, so I don't think it's super worth it. But yeah, that's your main break. Now, if you accidentally break with this though, then you can just do this. Your main 3B stuff. And if you have meter, then this doesn't scale. 80. That's how much it normally does. So that's our break stuff. It's really, really nasty. And let's turn this off. I'll turn this back to normal. So one of the things I like to do with Spear Regalia in terms of break is cash it in for some guard damage. Oops, right, guard 3. By the way, that'll happen a lot. People will just kind of get hit by the last part. Yeah, 24%. That's really nasty. Now, if you don't charge this, they can step out of it. First 2 guard, and then 8-way run. Run right. Or just step right. Getting the computer to do it properly is a little weird. But it happens to me all the time. In actual matches. Oops. Yeah, okay, I can't get the computer to do it properly. But no, you can do it in a real match. So yeah, you can step that. That's why I charge it. But then that's seeable, so you have to be careful with that too. By the way, this is 0 on block. So that's really nice. In fact, a lot of times I end up doing stuff like this. Oh, come on. Boom. So yeah, that's her break stuff. I also want to get into, since we're here with this. Boom. I'm here, and now I have my mix-up again. The 6B plus K, or low stuff. I generally don't like to use the sweep if I don't have spear, but I do it sometimes. I've been trying to do it less, though, because it is still -22. We went over that. Alright, let's see. Next, CA6. I went over CA6 a lot, but, yeah, on counter hit, it's nasty. So on counter hit, where am I? Here. Good. You get this. The spin. If it's not counter hit, he doesn't spin. So some people do this. Oh, right. It has to be on counter hit. On counter hit, you're just plus. But on normal hit, you're just plus. On counter hit, you get stuff. Some people get that. Like to do that. I don't, unless you're gonna get a ring out. Generally, I'll do this instead. But if I have meter, I can do this. So it does 2 less damage than normal, just raw CE. But, you can confirm it, so it's great. So yeah, this into this, immediately back into that mix-up situation. That's great. Or that. 70 damage. For a negative 12 move. That's really nice. You can't confirm this, though. You can't confirm... Yeah. You can't confirm the hit with the first part to do the second part. You just have to guess that you're going to get it. So, yeah. Alright. So that's all about CA6. Again, it's negative 12, but it's really, really hard to punish, because it's Ken guard stun. Street Fighter Ken guard stun. It recovers so quickly. It's like Zos's 6K as well. But this, again, as I said before, the A plus B part. This part, here, let me show you. Yeah, first do guard and then start stepping. Watch. Yeah, that lasts for a while. This doesn't jail, though, so a lot of people just kind of get hit. As you can see. You can GI the second hit if you block the first hit. It's tight, though. And it pretty much never happens online. Because online doesn't let you do tight things like that. Again, why I don't do this. Oh, shoot. This. At the end of the combos, because it's so tight. But yeah, that's it about CA6 for the most part. Okay, let's get him over here. Now, ring outs. So you have your pretty standard 3B ring out if you want it. I'm just gonna not watch that the whole time. But also, you have this. Dang. It's a little tight. But yeah, if you... Dang it. If you do the charge A, the CA5 or 6, depending on where it is, that'll ring out. It won't ring out without that. That's the only way to ring out if you don't have Regalia. But if you do have Regalia, then you can ring out from much further away with this. Either by itself, dang, I didn't reset in time, or BB. Now you can't do that if you start the combo with 2-2P plus K. Then they can air control out of the 6-6 BB part. That's really important. And speaking of important stuff, a lot of times if you hit them in the back, that doesn't combo with the loop, by the way. Important to know. Don't use the Regalia if you hit them in the back. So you'll see a lot of times, if I hit them in the back, I'll end up doing this instead. Just to take the guard damage. Because they're going to get up and block. But if they don't guard it, then you get a relaunch. Excuse me, you get a relaunch and does way more damage. So, don't rely on your opponent being bad or not knowing things. That's the main ring out stuff. for the wall splat stuff she has, it's mainly about this. Counter hit CA5, or maybe CA4. That brings out wall splats really well. The only main thing about wall splats is that it leads in a loop. Yeah, it leads into some pretty nice loops. But yeah. It's a little awkward because it doesn't like send them directly backwards. So yeah, leads into some nice loops if you get wall splats there. Not a whole lot else to say about that, I don't think. It's sometimes you'll get awkward wall splats and all you can really do is just kind of 3B and stuff. Now, for anti-reversal edge and GI stuff. So she has really nasty impact counters. Impact counter lethals. Let's turn that off. Let's turn this on to GI. So she has two. Either the A plus B. With that. Or the CB4. That's really nasty. And that's all true. So that's a quick way to get people to never GI or RE against you. Now, if you're worried about re-GIing stuff, I really like CA4. Because it doesn't get you the impact counter, but because people are afraid of these moves, that move and this one, they're gonna step a lot. Dang it. So this deals with both re-GIing and step. Now it's only +2, so but yeah, it deals with that pretty well. Now I guess RE's. Normal. No. Stand then normal. I usually like... Obviously you can just do this. Or whatever. Yeah, boom. But if you are trying to just be a little more... what's the word? Careful about that, and you just want to continue your offense, this usually works. Oh, they can hold it. But yeah, since I'm already holding the B for the combo, I usually can just do that. I have never had this happen where I got hit and put into RE, or even had to block it. I've always been able to get out of it. So that's a pretty good anti-RE stuff. Otherwise, she's actually kind of vulnerable to RE. I generally don't get out of it when I'm doing any kind of offense. Oh yeah, that's a hold. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Dang it. So, your main anti-RE thing is CA6A plus B. If you want to be like that. Or you can just 2A, you know. Now, if you see RE coming, it's too late to do your A plus Bs and such. So, just do this. That deals with it pretty well. 2-2B plus K or 8-8B plus K. Because it dodges out of the RE, and if they hold it, then it breaks it. So, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's also really nice dealing with characters like Wrath and Talon. That ends up tracking them more often than not if they try to cancel out of RE. So, yeah, that's that. In terms of... Actually, let's get into RE itself. So this is what you can do inside of RE. So what is he doing? I forget. He's guarding. Let's make him lose. So let's do A. Reversal edge, A. No, I want to win with A. So. if you hold down A, you get this. If you hold down K, then you get spear.
Are you serious?
And then if they do K and you hit with B, hold down B. Oops. Whoop. No, I'm thinking the wrong direction. What am I doing? Blah. There we go. You can loot from this. It's a little awkward, because if you do it too soon, you screw it up. Like this. I'm holding B. Yeah, if you do it too soon, you can screw it up like that. Or it won't launch properly or whatever. So, yeah, that's all the RE real stuff. I don't like RE. I think it's bad. I barely ever see it. Alright, yeah, the only use I see for her RE is that combo. That's it. Oops. Yeah, this combo. Just tap it real quick to do that. And I'm not holding it, I'm tapping it. Alright, so let's get into some Punishers. Let's turn that off. No, here we go. So, Punishers. Alright. They're negative 12. AA. Or 2A. AA is 0 on hit, so that's kind of annoying. But I like the 24 damage, so I'll take it. Negative 14, Punisher, is 66k. Boom. And that brings you into that neutral situation. Negative 16 is interesting. With 16 you get this. For a knockdown. Or that's also the speed of your soul attack and your CE. General rule of thumb, if they're vulnerable to a negative 16, you want to use meter. If it's not going to kill, use soul attack. If it is going to kill, use CE. Because it's nice and easy with CE. It actually sets up a lethal hit. This one. It's what's it? Yes. B plus K. That lethal hits into loops. Let's see. It's really awkward for me to do this. Come on. Yeah, lethal hits into loops. It's negative 12, B plus K, but it is a nice meaty tech crouch. So that's something that's nice to set up for the next round if you kill with the CE. So yeah, that's what you get for kill C if you kill with CE. Negative 16 is CE, soul attack, 236 edge. Or 2A plus B. Negative 18 is the speed of your A charges, so generally just do those with your Regalia and knock them off balance. Negative 20, I'd probably still use A charges, but if you want to be exact, then do that. 3B into stuff. The main combo is 3B, 63B, 60 plus K, 65. And then you get your Oki. Now, negative 22 is the important threshold, because negative 22 is the speed of your charge Bs. And you can go into loops. Now, I didn't mention this before. That usually launches. Doesn't always. However, this almost never doesn't launch. That's a weird way of saying that it almost always launches. I think I can count on my hands the amount of times I've done CB6B plus K and it didn't launch backwards. Unless they're in the air. If they're in the air, guaranteed no launch. Just knockdown. But yeah, negative 22 is that threshold. Where once you're negative 22, use your B charges. Speaking of B charges, I never went over the main combo for this. For full crouch B is the same as 3B. That gets into real character specific stuff though, when you want to do that and everything. So I'm not going to pay attention to that right now. So those are the Punishers. Soul Charge. Let's turn this to always soul charge. Actually, no, first let's talk about soul attack. So with soul attack, she either gets this. She can do that. Or she can do this. So she can do an A or B follow-up. They're all safe. They're generally nice to getting regalia or knocking people off their game. Or you can just do it. If you get the hit, I recommend doing B. Oh wait, no. We don't want to do that anymore, so... Let's soul charge, always. Okay. So, soul charge stuff. She's got A, B, and 66 AB. I generally only use this against people who don't know about it, because you can duck the third hit. It is still an AAA. You can duck the third hit and deal with it. But AAB or 66AB, there's 0 on block. And on hit, you get meaty damage. So that's really nice. And then, so that's your horizontal high option. For mids, you want to do 66B plus KB. For even more damage. And this part itself is -2 on block. And it does a good chunk of guard damage. That's 0. You can just... Again, people who don't know what's going on, you can do this for days. Oops. Okay. You can do that forever against people who don't know what's going on. But yeah, that move and this move are your main go-tos. Let's see. The other main thing I do in Soul Charge is your command back throw is better. I don't use that a whole lot. Probably should use it more. But your command back throw is better, especially if they're afraid to press buttons. And your +8 if they break it, because command throws in this game. The other main stuff is 214A or 214B. Gets you regalia just outright, but it does take a chunk away. And now for your 6A stuff, instead of just doing 6AA, you do 6AB. This is really nice because it's effectively 6A into a CB5. So you're +10 on hit. Yeah, that's really nice. And then BAA. This boom. Those two things get you regalia. And while it is... BAA is a mid-high, the second two hits jail. So you don't have to worry about them blocking the second hit and then ducking. Yep, that's pretty much it about Soul Charge. It's really powerful. There's not a whole lot to say. It's just really powerful and really scary. But that's just kind of Soul Charge for a lot of characters in this game. Next is... Alright, your budget moves. So these are moves that if you want a quick thing, or if you don't want to do charge, these are kind of your budget stuff. I also like to do these moves end of round. Because they're generally safer for one way or another. Maybe not 4B as much. But yeah, 4B for that long range poke. 1K. So you either get 1KK or 1KB. That's a mix-up situation. It's a really nice, safer way to kill, but it's still linear. 44B is actually really nice at end of round, or if you really want to annoy somebody. Instead of using 1B, you can do... Yeah, just 44B. Especially if you're running away. That's so annoying. But yeah, you can cancel that into step. You can cancel any step into back step, so you can do stuff like this, or... So that's nice with that. And then for a budget step killer, you can say... I actually use that a lot after 22B is blocked. And so that's the budget stuff, and generally, you don't want to use your super vulnerable stuff and your ban-on block stuff when you are about to kill. So I usually start to break that stuff out end of round. Yeah, now just going over miscellaneous stuff that I couldn't fit anywhere else. 22B? 22B plus K? It's 4 frames faster than CB4. They do the same amount of guard damage, but CB4 is +4, and 22B plus K is +2, and is also really evasive. It's a sidestepping tech round. So, yeah, that's interesting to know. It's also can get really silly. Let's see if we can get them to the edge. That if you get them, if you don't have the pushback, when they block 22P plus K, you get guaranteed AA. So that's silly. I really like using this against people who don't guard, or who just want to guard. Because not only is it great guard damage, and great plus, stuff like this. Not only is it great for that, also since it's so vulnerable to stepping, it gets them to do something. And then you can do... Oops. In fact, let me show that real quick. Stand and then step. Run left. Okay. Oops. Stands. No, wait, we run. Blah. Run left. Done. There we go. Oops. Okay. Not at that range. Up close left. There. So that stuff's really nice. 4A plus B is nice. I don't really use it, but it's a thing. If you have Regalia, it's kind of a reversal. So like... Oh shoot. Yeah, it's... Right. Whatever. Yeah, see, it comes out so slow. That's why I barely ever use it. Yeah. You're starting to see why I don't use it a lot. What can I do? There we go. If you hit with it, it's great. And it gets you the Regalia back. But it's hard to place. The 6AA or 6AA series into stuff. So you can do this. I usually do this more as a knowledge check than anything. Because it's nice free stuff against people who don't know how to be with it. But generally I don't use it against good people because it's a high. You can just duck it. Other things to go over. So this, pretty much all your A, all of your A guard breaks, these are only +2. Yeah, this is +2. In fact, that's the same move as 4A plus BA. It's effectively the same as 6AAA. There we go. They're only +2. So her guard breaks aren't that great in terms of advantage. Let's see what else. And the other interesting thing is her wall rising A is 0. So that'll trip people up. That's just a fun little thing to trip people up. Not much else to say. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention her back throw combos in the super. That's a fun way to end the round. Otherwise, we're getting into character-specific stuff, combo setups, stuff I didn't mean to get into here. This is more about strategies and tools and things. Going over it, and I think that's pretty much it. So, to bring it all back, with Hilde, she has really nasty whiff punishes, and you want to set. If they're just getting hit by your whiff punishes, that's great. You've won. Just play the game out. But if they're not getting hit, then you need to set them up with stuff like this. Oops. Not guard all. Then you try to set him up with stuff like that. And then if you get into the point where you're just plus here, and he doesn't want to press buttons, then you get fun stuff. Like that. You can start doing things. So, yeah, just make them afraid to press buttons, go for your whiff punishes. And she does a ton of damage. You can really delete somebody's life. Just to give you a quick example of this. Yeah. So standard loop starter, boom, boom, that's 65. And then you do that into Hell Sweep, 54. Now all of a sudden they've lost, 119 health. Just from that. I don't know how many times I've just done that, and then I've heard people just be like, where did my health go? Just from one whiff punish into a good mix-up. Or if they're not doing low, 65 into 34. So that's only 99 now instead of 119. Oh no! And now you're +2, and you can do stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. If with the whole setup, doing this into this or this into Hell Sweep or whatever, if they're far away, like from this kind of thing, you do 6 first. So you can do that off of a 66K counter hit, a CA5 counter hit. You can do that off a lot of things. This has almost been an hour. Oof. Yeah, I had an outline, but not a script. So that's everything. And maybe I'll get character-specific stuff later. It's actually not very long with the character-specific stuff, I don't think. It generally boils down to using a lot more of this. Because people like to do highs, or this. Against people who like to do highs. You keep away people who like to be close, like Talim and Taki. You get up close against people who like to be away. Like Ivy. Oh, Ivy. Especially Ivies who love to see, who love to do their command throws. Calamity Symphonies and Summon Sufferings. This will get you so much mileage. Just throwing this out. It's like, oh, I'm -4, CA6. Oh, I'm +2, CA6. Oh, I'm -8, CA6. So. Alright, I'm just going to start rambling as we keep going, so I'm going to end it here. Goodbye, everybody.